The Terran survey ship Hyperion cut through the void of deep space, its massive silhouette outlined against the backdrop of an unfamiliar nebula. At 3 kilometers in length, the vessel represented humanity's most ambitious deep space exploration project to date. Its distinctive arrowhead design housed not just a crew of 2,000, but also carried the hopes and dreams of Earth's billions. Captain Sarah Martinez stood at the bridge's observation deck, her dark eyes fixed on the swirling purple and blue gases of the nebula ahead. 20 years of space exploration had earned her this command, but nothing in her experience had prepared her for what the ship's sensors had just detected. "Captain, confirmation on those energy signatures," Lieutenant Commander James Chen reported from his station, his voice steady despite the excitement visible in his posture. "They're definitely artificial, and they're moving in formation." Martinez nodded, her short silver-streaked hair catching the light from the holographic displays surrounding her command station. Distance: approximately 40 million kilometers and closing. Their propulsion system is unlike anything we've ever encountered. They're moving at speeds that should be impossible for their mass. The bridge crew maintained their professional composure, but an electric tension filled the air. After centuries of searching the stars, humanity was about to make first contact with an alien civilization. "All stations, first contact protocols," Martinez announced, her voice carrying the weight of the moment. "Defense systems on passive mode only. Let's not give our visitors any reason for concern." The Hyperion's vast arrays of sensors gathered data about the approaching vessels. They were smaller than the human ship, each about the size of an ancient Earth destroyer, but their design defied conventional physics. The alien ships seemed to bend space around them, their hulls shifting like liquid metal. "Message coming in," Communications Officer Aisha Patel reported, her fingers dancing across her holographic interface. "It's different from anything in our databases. The universal translator is having trouble processing it." Martinez straightened her uniform, put it through to the main screen. "Let's see what we're dealing with." The massive display at the front of the bridge flickered to life, showing a view that made several crew members gasp. The alien being on screen had a form that seemed to defy biological convention. Its body appeared to be composed of crystalline structures that pulsed with internal light, and what might have been its face was a complex arrangement of geometric patterns that shifted and reformed as it communicated. "Translation matrix establishing connection," Patil announced. "Converting now." The alien's voice filled the bridge, a harmony of tones that the translator converted into words. "Unknown vessel, you have entered restricted space. Your size suggests significant military capability. State your purpose or withdraw immediately." Martinez stepped forward, her posture straight but non-threatening. "I am Captain Sarah Martinez of the Terran survey ship Hyperion. We are an exploration vessel from Earth, seeking peaceful contact with other civilizations. We apologize for any alarm our presence may have caused." There was a pause as the translation was sent back. The crystalline being's patterns shifted rapidly, creating cascading waves of light across its form. "Your vessel's capabilities exceed any known civilian craft," the alien responded. "We are the Zandari Collective. Your presence here represents a potential threat to our security. Prepare for inspection." "With respect," Martinez replied. "While we welcome diplomatic exchange, our vessel contains sensitive technology. We cannot allow unrestricted access." The Zandari's patterns turned sharp and angular. "Refusal will be considered hostile intent. Your species is unknown to us. Your vessel's size suggests conquest capability. You will comply." Martinez glanced at her tactical officer, who subtly shook his head. The alien ships were taking up attack positions, their energy signatures shifting in ways that suggested weapon systems charging. "Perhaps we can reach a compromise," Martinez offered, her mind racing through diplomatic protocols. "We propose a neutral meeting point. Your representatives can board our diplomatic shuttle, which carries no classified technology. We can begin cultural exchange there, under mutually acceptable security conditions. The Xandary's patterns shifted to sharp angles. Your biological form is inefficient, your technology crude by our standards. Yet you build on a scale that suggests significant resource consumption and military capability. This contradicts our understanding of technological evolution. Perhaps we could share our perspectives, Martinez offered diplomatically. Every species develops along its own path. Your path is concerning, another Xandary interjected, its patterns flashing red. Our scans indicate your vessel's power core operates on principles that risk spatial stability. Your weapons, while primitive, could cause devastating damage through sheer destructive yield. Why do explorers require such capability? Dr. Reyes stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overriding protocol. Your concern is understandable, but perhaps we could share our reasoning. The Hyperion's size and capabilities exist because human exploration philosophy emphasizes self-sufficiency and redundancy. We believe in being prepared for any situation. The Xandary delegates patterns swirled in what the humans were beginning to recognize as agitation. This philosophy demonstrates dangerous independence. Civilized species operate through collective consensus and shared resources. Independent capability suggests potential for independent action. Independent action leads to conflict. Not necessarily, Martinez countered. Independence can also lead to innovation and peaceful cooperation between equals. Humanity has learned this through our own history. History, Nexus 7 Prime's patterns turn jagged. Yes, we have analyzed the cultural data you provided. Your species has a pattern of conflict, resource competition, and territorial expansion. Your current unity is recent and potentially unstable. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. Security Chief Wong subtly shifted his position, though his hands remained clearly visible and non-threatening. Every species has its challenges, Dr. Morrison interjected smoothly. What matters is how we learn and grow from them. Humanity has worked hard to overcome our violent past. Yet you arm your explorers like warriors, the third Xandary observed, its crystalline form emanating patterns that the translator interpreted as skepticism. Your vessel carries enough firepower to devastate a planetary civilization. For defense only, Martinez assured them. The universe is vast and unknown. We believe in being prepared while hoping preparation is unnecessary. This mentality is precisely our concern. Nexus 7 Prime's patterns became increasingly complex. It suggests fundamental incompatibility with civilized space. The collective cannot risk the introduction of potentially destabilizing elements into the galactic community. Dr. Reyes noticed something in the Xandary's shifting patterns, a subtle resonance that their initial analysis hadn't detected. Captain, she whispered, their pattern variations suggest they're receiving real-time communication from their fleet. This isn't just a diplomatic meeting. Martinez's expression remained neutral, but her mind raced. The Xandary weren't just evaluating humanity's diplomatic overtures. They were conducting a threat assessment. Perhaps, she said carefully, we could demonstrate our peaceful intentions through cultural exchange. Would you be interested in learning about Earth's artistic achievements? Our music, our literature, our scientific discoveries. The Xandary delegates' patterns shifted again, this time in what appeared to be confusion. Your species creates art. For what purpose? For many purposes, Dr. Morrison explained, seizing the opportunity. For beauty, for expression, for understanding ourselves and others. Would you allow us to share some examples? The crystalline beings conferred in rapid harmonics that the translator couldn't process. Finally, Nexus 7 Prime's patterns settled into a more regular configuration. This aspect requires further study. We will extend diplomatic contact, but under strict conditions. Your vessel must remain here, under observation. No communication with your civilization until we complete our assessment. Martinez met the alien's geometric gaze. We accept these conditions, provided we maintain autonomy over our vessel and crew. We welcome observation, but not control. The tension in the shuttle's cabin crystallized into something almost solid as they awaited the Xandari response. The future of human-alien relations hung on whether these crystalline beings could accept humanity's fundamental need for independence within cooperation. The alarms aboard the Hyperion blared without warning. Captain Martinez rushed to the bridge from her quarters, where she'd been reviewing the latest diplomatic reports from the ongoing negotiations with the Xandari. "Report," she commanded, taking her station as the crew worked with practiced efficiency around her. "Massive gravitational disturbance," Lieutenant Commander Chen announced, his fingers flying over his console. "It's unlike anything in our database. The space-time fabric itself is warping." The main view screen showed a terrifying sight. What appeared to be a tear in space itself was forming, its edges crackling with purple-black energy. Both the Hyperion and the Xandari fleet hung motionless before this cosmic anomaly. "Captain, we're receiving emergency transmissions from the Xandari vessels," Communications Officer Paddle reported. "Their systems are being affected by some kind of quantum interference. They're losing power." Martinez watched as the closest Xandari ship's liquid metal hull began to ripple erratically. Their advanced technology, so superior to human engineering in many ways, seemed particularly vulnerable to whatever this phenomenon was. "Get me Nexus 7 Prime," Martinez ordered. When the crystalline being appeared on screen, its patterns were chaotic with what humans had learned to recognize as distress. "Our systems are failing." The Xandari leader's harmonics were distorted. "This anomaly operates on principles we cannot counter. Our collective computational network is destabilizing." Martinez made a swift decision. "We can help. The Hyperion systems are more primitive, but also more robust. Let us extend our shield envelope to protect your vessels." There was a pause as the Xandari patterns shifted rapidly, their entire worldview challenging their survival instincts. "You would risk your vessel to protect us." "That's what explorers do," Martinez replied firmly. "Commander Chen, extend shields." "Dr. Reyes, I need you working with engineering to adapt our shield frequency to protect their crystalline technology." The human crew moved with purpose, their training and adaptability showing in every action. Engineers quickly modified shield emitters while scientists calculated the precise frequencies needed to protect the Xandari's unique technology. "Shield extension complete," Chen reported. "But Captain, the anomaly is still growing. At this rate, it'll engulf this entire sector in less than an hour." Martinez studied the readings. The tear in space was acting like a drain, pulling in energy and matter. The Xandari ships had taken shelter behind the Hyperion's shields, their once proud fleet now dependent on human protection. "Dr. Reyes, analysis," Martinez demanded. The xenanthropologist had been working furiously with both human and Xandari data. "It's artificial, Captain. The quantum signature suggests it's a side effect of some kind of faster-than-light technology, but far more advanced than either our or the Xandari's capabilities." "Can we close it?" "Not directly," Reyes replied. "But, Captain, remember how the Xandari complained about our power core's primitive design. Its inefficiency might actually be an advantage here. If we can create a resonance cascade." "Explain." "Their ships manipulate space elegantly, efficiently. Ours brute forces it. If we deliberately detune our core, create a controlled instability, we could disrupt the anomaly's quantum field." Chen finished, catching on. "But Captain, that would mean pushing our core far beyond safety limits. We'd be risking a breach." Martinez turned to the Xandari on screen. "Nexus 7 Prime, we have a solution, but we'll need your help. Your ship's precision control of spatial fields combined with our raw power output. Together, we might be able to collapse this anomaly." The crystalline being's pattern swirled as it processed this. "Your suggestion is dangerous, uncontrolled, like your species, yet logical. We will assist." What followed was an unprecedented cooperation between human and Xandari technology. The Hyperion's massive power core was pushed to its limits, generating waves of controlled spatial distortion. The Zandari vessels, protected by human shields, used their advanced field manipulation to shape and direct these waves. Core temperature critical, Chief Engineer Santos warned. We can't maintain this for long. Anomaly is responding, Chen reported. Its edges are becoming unstable. The tear is starting to close. Martins gripped her command chair as the ship shuddered. Push it to the edge, Santos. The Zandari will tell us when to pull back. The view screen showed the cosmic tear beginning to collapse in on itself. The Zandari ships moved in perfect formation, their liquid metal hulls flowing like quicksilver as they directed the Hyperion's raw energy output with surgical precision. Now, Nexus 7 Prime's harmonic voice cut through the chaos. Discontinue power output. Santos slammed the core shutdown sequence as the Zandari ships executed a final, coordinated pulse of their field generators. The tear in space collapsed with a silent flash of light that briefly outshone the distant stars. As system reports flooded in confirming their success, Martins noticed something had changed in the Zandari leader's crystalline patterns. The sharp, suspicious angles had softened into something more contemplative. Perhaps, Nexus 7 Prime communicated, we were hasty in our judgment of your species' methods. Your inefficient technologies and independent thinking provided a solution our collective could not discover alone. Martins allowed herself a small smile. Different approaches have different strengths. Together, we're stronger than either of us alone. The crystalline being's patterns shifted in what humans were beginning to recognize as agreement. We request to continue our cultural exchange, with fewer restrictions. Your species' unique perspectives may have more value than we initially calculated. As the crew began damage assessments and repairs, Martinez knew that this crisis had done more than save both species from destruction. It had shattered preconceptions on both sides and opened the door to genuine understanding between two very different civilizations. In the days following the anomaly crisis, the Hyperion's observation deck had been transformed into a shared cultural center. Holographic displays showcased both human art and Zandari crystalline formations, while scientists from both species worked together to understand each other's technologies. Captain Martinez walked through the space, noting how her crew interacted with the Zandari visitors. The initial fear and suspicion had given way to genuine curiosity on both sides. Dr. Rice sat with a group of crystalline beings, their forms pulsing with soft colors as she explained the concept of human music. The vibrations create patterns, Rice explained, playing a classical piece through modified speakers that translated the sound into electromagnetic waves the Zandari could better perceive. Like your harmonic communication, but we experience it differently. The Zandari's patterns shifted in what humans now recognized as wonder. These patterns serve no direct communication purpose, yet they affect your neural states. Fascinating inefficiency. Martinez smiled at their use of what had become almost a term of endearment. The Zandari had begun to understand that human inefficiency often served purposes their more structured society hadn't considered. Captain, Nexus 7 Prime approached, its crystalline form now displaying the more fluid patterns of comfortable communication. Our analysis of the anomaly data is complete. We believe it was created by a species far more advanced than either of ours. The implications are concerning. Martinez nodded. I've reviewed the preliminary reports. If there are others out there with this level of technology, both our peoples need to be prepared. Agreed. This brings us to a proposal. The Zandari leader's patterns shifted to formal configuration. The collective has debated extensively. Your ship's primitive but powerful systems, combined with our precise control, proved more effective than either technology alone. We propose a permanent technological exchange program. This was unprecedented. The Zandari were known for their technological isolation, believing their path of development to be the only correct one. That's a significant change in policy, Martinez observed. The anomaly proved that our assumptions about technological evolution were flawed. Your species' chaotic development path has produced capabilities we never considered. Similarly, Our refined control systems could enhance your ship's efficiency without sacrificing their raw power. At a nearby table, Chief Engineer Santos was already working with Xandari technicians, their liquid metal tools interfacing with human computer systems in ways that should have been impossible. The engineer's excited gestures and the Xandari's rapidly shifting patterns showed genuine enthusiasm on both sides. "There's more," Nexus 7 Prime continued. "The collective wishes to establish permanent diplomatic relations with Earth. Your species' independent problem-solving abilities, while initially concerning, represent a valuable addition to the galactic community." Martinez felt the weight of the moment. This wasn't just first contact anymore. This was the beginning of a true partnership between civilizations. "I'll need to contact Earth for authorization, but I believe our leadership will be very interested." We anticipated this. The Xandari's patterns showed amusement. "We have already modified our communication arrays to be compatible with your quantum entanglement systems. Your primitively effective method of faster-than-light communication can now be enhanced by our precision targeting." A junior officer approached with a datapad. "Captain, engineering reports the first successful integration of Xandari field controllers with our shield systems. Efficiency is up 40%, with no loss of raw power output." Martinez turned back to Nexus 7 Prime. "It seems our teams aren't waiting for formal diplomatic approval to begin cooperation. Indeed, your crew's enthusiasm for learning matches our own growing curiosity about human methods. Earlier today, one of your engineers introduced our technical team to what they called jury rigging, a most chaotically efficient approach to problem solving." Dr. Reyes joined them, her eyes bright with excitement. "Captain, the Xandari have agreed to share their historical records with us. Their perspective on cosmic development is fascinating. Did you know they've mapped quantum patterns that suggest multiple advanced civilizations once existed in this sector? Ancient civilizations that might have created phenomena like the anomaly we encountered," Nexus 7 Prime added. "Your species' exploration mandate could help us investigate these mysteries. Our precision combined with your adaptability would be most efficient." Martinez watched as human and Xandari continued to work together across the observation deck. Engineers debated theoretical physics while cultural experts exchanged stories and artworks. The initial fear of difference had transformed into appreciation for complementary strengths. "Sometimes the most efficient path isn't the most direct one," Martinez mused. "Our meeting could have ended very differently if the anomaly hadn't forced us to work together." Indeed, we now understand that true efficiency must include adaptation and growth. Your species has much to teach us about this. The Xandari leader's patterns shifted to display formal respect. "The collective has a saying, 'The path of wisdom is lit by many stars.' We had forgotten that those stars need not all shine the same way." As Martinez looked out at the distant nebula where their journey had begun, she realized that humanity's first steps into the galactic community had opened doors no one had expected. The future would hold challenges, but they would face them together, each species contributing its unique strengths to a greater whole. 6 months after the first contact between humanity and the Xandari, the Hyperion approached Earth space, but it was no longer the same vessel that had left. Its hull now gleamed with integrated Xandari liquid metal reinforcement, while crystalline sensor arrays extended its detection capabilities far beyond original specifications. The ship had become a symbol of what two vastly different civilizations could achieve together. Captain Martinez stood on the bridge, Nexus 7 Prime's crystalline form pulsing beside her as they watched Earth grow larger on the main view screen. A dozen Xandari ships flew in formation with the Hyperion, their presence marking the first official diplomatic mission to humanity's homeworld. "Your planet's appearance is chaotic," Nexus 7 Prime observed, its pattern showing what Martinez now recognized as anticipation. "Like your species, beautiful in its disorder. Wait until you see it up close," Martinez smiled. "Our cities, our cultures, our ecosystems. Earth is a study in controlled chaos." The bridge crew worked seamlessly with their Xandari counterparts, the once alien crystalline beings now familiar colleagues. Dr. Rice monitored the new hybrid sensor systems, their human-designed interfaces enhanced by Xandari quantum processing. "Captain," Commander Chen called out, "the Earth Defense Fleet is moving to escort us in. They're expressing particular interest in our modifications." "As well they should," Chief Engineer Santos added from his station, where he worked with a Xandari technical expert. "The improvements we've made to the Hyperion are just the beginning. Wait until they see the theoretical work we've done on combining our technologies." The past months had been transformative for both species. The Xandari had learned to appreciate human creativity and adaptability, while humans had gained insights into the benefits of precision and collective coordination. Together, they had begun to unlock technological possibilities neither civilization had imagined alone. "Incoming transmission from Earth Command," Patil announced. "They're ready for the diplomatic reception. The United Earth Council has prepared facilities incorporating both human and Xandari environmental requirements." Martinez nodded. "They've had time to prepare, thanks to our quantum-enhanced communications. The specifications we sent ahead should make the transition smooth." "A gathering of independent minds and collective wisdom," Nexus 7 Prime mused, its patterns shifting thoughtfully. "The collective has already begun implementing some of your organizational concepts. Individual initiative within structured cooperation. We had not considered such balance possible before." The changes weren't just technological. The Xandari had started experimenting with giving their members more autonomy, while humans had learned the value of more coordinated efforts. Both civilizations were evolving, becoming stronger without losing their essential natures. "Look," Dr. Rice pointed to a secondary screen. "The first joint human-Xandari research facility on Luna is already under construction. Soon we'll be ready to begin investigating those ancient civilization signatures we detected." The lunar facility represented something unprecedented, a permanent collaboration between human and Xandari scientists. Its mission would be to study the mysteries they'd encountered, including the spatial anomaly that had first brought them together. "The anomaly was merely the beginning," Nexus 7 Prime said. "Our combined long-range scans have detected similar phenomena in multiple sectors. Someone, or something, is out there, far more advanced than either of us. Together, we can discover the truth." As they entered Earth orbit, Martinez reflected on how far they'd come. What had started as a tense first contact had blossomed into something revolutionary. The Hyperion's mission had changed the course of two civilizations. "We've received the landing coordinates for the diplomatic center," Chen reported. "Beijing Complex is ready to receive both human and Xandari delegations." "Signal the fleet," Martinez ordered. "Begin descent sequence." As the ships moved in perfect formation toward Earth, Nexus 7 Prime's patterns displayed a new configuration, one that the Xandari had developed to express optimism about the future. "Your world will be the first of many bridges," the crystalline being said. "Already, other species are taking notice of our alliance. The collective's long-range communications have detected increased activity from civilizations that previously remained hidden. They watch to see what humans and Xandari can achieve together." Martinez understood the implications. Their partnership wasn't just about two species anymore. It was about showing the galaxy a new way forward. Humanity's first steps into the galactic community had become a giant leap for all intelligent life. "Together," she said, watching her home planet grow larger in the view screen, "we're stronger than the sum of our parts, not despite our differences, but because of them." The Hyperion descended through Earth's atmosphere, its hybrid systems adapting perfectly to the transition. Behind it came the Xandari ships, their liquid metal hulls reflecting sunlight like mercury teardrops. Below, millions watched the historic arrival, witnessing the dawn of a new era in human history. Humanity had reached for the stars seeking new frontiers. They had found not just alien life, but partners in the greatest adventure of all. The exploration and understanding of a universe far more complex and wonderful than either civilization had imagined alone. The future was uncertain, filled with mysteries and challenges, but now they would face it together, two species united by curiosity, respect, and the shared belief that the greatest discoveries come from embracing differences rather than fearing them.